Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Extra Time TV. The action continues at Smokey and Bunty's on the Avenue in Trinidad and Tobago. For those of you who don't know, we're in the round of 16. We have a lot of matches, well, 2 matches to talk about today. It's starting to wind down, you know, the teams are going home now. So before we get started, James, let's let the folks know why they need to come down here.
Well, come down here to Smokey and Bunty's on the Avenue, enjoy the wonderful atmosphere, all the prizes we have, all the memorabilia and the bar, and we have many celebrities even passing through, so there's so many wonderful things, and especially on that final on the 18th. It's going to be wonderful, it's going to be fantastic, and we're going to have a great day of football.
Yes, so we're going to start things off, you know, with the first game of today. The current reigning champions, France, took on Poland. You know, Poland kind of scraped through. You know, there's a little bit of a technicality. We'll talk about that in our previous video. You can look at that in our previous video. But, you know, goals from Oliver Giroud, who's been playing really well, and Kylian Mbappe scoring 2 goals. He is the highest goal scorer at the tournament right now. They're having a magnificent tournament. There was a lot of talk about Benzema not being there, but it doesn't seem to be affecting this French team. Poland, you know, they got that consolation goal. The penalty was a little bit, you know, controversial. We'll talk about that. So, James, what do you think about France's performance today?
I thought France grew from strength to strength, and they were magnificent at the end. Mbappe was absolutely superlative. Giroud, his goal very well, and I think all in all, very, very polished performance. But what I would say is, Poland started the game unlike I thought they would. They actually pressed quite high, they had a high line, and they took the game to France. I didn't expect that because I thought they'd sit back, defend for long periods of the game, but so for that first 15 minutes they looked pretty decent, and obviously when the first goal went in from Giroud, they just started to crumble. But when you come up against a team that has an informed Mbappe, well, you know, you're in for a terrible day, and we saw that. He was fantastic. He got an assist as well, I think, or 2 even, and great performance for him.
Yes, and you know, this is a France with a couple of players that, you know, are not there, obviously, Pogba, but they're doing well. Also, Benzema is no longer a part of the team.
Kante as well.
Kante
all
as
big
well.
Players, yeah.
Yeah, so it's a very strong team. I mean, a lot of people have some concerns about their bench, but you know, Kevin made an interesting point in our last video where he was saying Poland should learn from the Argentina game and try to be a little more brave. And to be fair, they did try to be brave, but unfortunately, the quality of France shone through. Let's take a quick look at the stats like we always do. You know, possession, it was pretty close. You know, I thought it would have been a bit different, but you know, France had 55%, Poland had 45%, 16 shots on goal for France, 12 for Poland, 8 on target for France, and we know how that turned out versus 3. You know, to me, the statistics don't really match with how the scoreline showed. I think the ruthlessness of Mbappe and France shows you that, you know, heading into these final stages of the tournament, whoever has to face France, which we'll talk about, they're looking scary, James. So, you know, tactically, what do you think about Deschamps, how they've been playing from the beginning till now, and do you think like France is firing on all cylinders?
Well, I think coming into this game, I think Didier Deschamps played a 4-2-3-1.
Yeah.
It looked pretty solid. I think, as I say, the players are growing into it. I thought Dembele, Griezmann, Mbappe and Giroud up top were fantastic. They drove forward in waves, looked really good. I mean, for periods of the game, the Polish defence looked pretty good. I thought, for example, Mati Cash, who obviously is an English player who went to play for Poland, he actually handled Mbappe for periods of the game well. He was able to match him, but Mbappe just went up a gear, and we saw what happened. I mean, the goal that he got was absolutely phenomenal.
Yep.
The first one, somebody was saying to me that maybe they thought that Szczesny could have done better, but I don't think so. I think it was a great finish, and then that last one just blew us away. So I think he's probably been the best player in the tournament so far.
Correct.
He's got the goals to show it. He's got the assists to show it, and it's up to the other guys to now show up and, you know, try and take that mantle from him. But he was up against, to me, the best goalkeeper in the tournament so far in Szczesny, and he didn't put a foot wrong up until this game. He had some good saves, but it just was too little too late for him and his team, and I think Poland just didn't have enough in the tank. You know, you look to their bench, the comparisons between benches, and that's when you look at the big teams. They can go to their bench and have so much quality to come on.
Yeah.
I don't think Poland had that today, you know, so... Yeah. But all in all, great result for France. Tactically, Poland came in with a 4-1-4-1, and I think anybody coming in with that system, you know they're going to play a little defensive.
Yeah.
Lewandowski at times was strangled up top. I mean, he's a very intelligent player, and I think people don't know that. There was at times that instead of going in, you know, on Varane and there at the back, he would actually pull off, and he got some favour in that early on, but... Yeah. It was too much for him to do on his own. He got the goal from the penalty, which I'm not too convinced on his penalty. The first one, his little jump at the start before he kicks the ball. Hugo Lloris saves it. A retake happens. He got the goal, but. As I say, very convincing win for the Blue, and I think they will be going on from strength to strength against, as I say, who we'll talk about next.
Yes, and I don't want to harp too much on Poland. We kind of saw what was coming. No disrespect to Poland, in the Argentina game, what their approach was, and to be fair to them, I guess they were trying to find some kind of balance. They tried to show a bit more courage today. That gap between Lewandowski and the midfield and defense is massive, and as you said. He has a lot to do to shoulder, to keep that ball, to get them involved in the play. It was a little bit better today, to be fair to them, as you said. I saw some promising moves. I was also impressed with the wing-backs, how they handled the counter-attacks of France, because a lot of people was going to say Mbappe, they did say Mbappe is going to rip them to shreds, but I was impressed. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, the third goal wasn't really from a breakaway. I think he just kind of went into the box and just smashed it into the corner.
No, it was an absolute fantastic goal.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, I don't think many goalkeepers would save it. He put it across Chesney into the top bin, and as I say, it was a wonder goal from a wonderful player. So, I mean, as I say, there's not much you can do against that quality.
Correct. Well, let's talk about Oliver Giroud. He's a player that, people kind of forgot about in the last World Cup. He was known for the guy that didn't score any goals, but he was part of the winning team. And people who understand football will tell you that it's not necessarily his goal contributions at the time, but it's the way how he held up the ball and complimented Mbappe was good. Now he's scoring goals.
Well, the interesting thing is, would he have played if Benzema was there? It's interesting because, and now he's surpassed Thierry Henry's record. I think he's now on to, I think it's 52 goals. I'm not 100%, but that just shows you how clinical he is and how much quality he has, and he was brilliant today.
And that's a big call by Deschamps because, on paper, people always choose Benzema. But for people who really follow the game, especially he seemed to be revitalized at AC Milan. He's always done that job, but now the criticism he once had was that, but he misses a lot, he doesn't get a lot of goals. That has changed a lot. He's getting the job done for France. And I think, folks, you can let us know what you think in the comment section below. Do you think it was the right choice? So far, it looks that way. And we always say that, your decisions can make or break a coach. They could do really well now, get on to the final. Giroud misses a sitter. Everybody's going to say he should have carried Benzema. Karim Benzema carried Benzema.
The simple fact is, we spoke about it earlier on. I mean, Benzema's a funny one because he got the injury. Supposedly he went back to Real Madrid. They assessed it and they said it wasn't as bad as previously thought. He could have then rejoined the French team.
And that's a good question.
Didier Deschamps does not want him for whatever reason, and he doesn't have him now. So I wonder if that will come back to haunt France as the tournament goes on. I mean, they obviously have a very good bench, but to me, I would rather have him. Just like the next game we spoke about, there's another player who maybe could have been in the squad still, I find, but again, that's a next topic.
Yes. But this is the thing. These decisions are crazy because, having Benzema, something is clearly wrong in the French camp. But, they're winning right now, so it's not a problem. That's the thing about football. But I think when there's a little bit of a challenge,
you only notice problems when you're losing.
Right.
I mean, look what happened with the Belgian team.
Correct.
I mean, they start to talk out and speak out about this player. So you're only going to really hear those complaints once, if France was to lose a game.
Yes, and so the French team, especially the parents of some of these players, clearly have no problems having a go in public on Twitter and on social media. So we know it's not the perfect camp. When they get it together, they do really well, but they've always been known for drama. 2010, many other years, they rebelled against the coach, Dominic. That was the coach at the time. But so far, so good. And they face England up next. But we're not going to talk about that yet. We'll talk about a quick summary of that when we get to that game. But James, any final thoughts on this game before we move along?
No, I thought just like all the other World Cup games, it was entertaining. I mean, I think with a little penalty at the end, it was a nice kind of consolation prize for Poland. But all in all, France are the better team. Yes. Simple as that.
So I'm going to jump the gun here a little bit. Do you think France are looking like they're going to retain their trophy? Is that going to happen? Are they going to break that tradition? Or is it too early?
I think it's too early to tell because what I would say is there's some other big guns there that I will see in the next few days how they fare against their opposition, but I think France will be there or thereabouts. Can France go on and beat, for example, Argentina, Portugal and England? We will see, time will tell, but they definitely have the quality.
Correct. So we'll talk about that more. Let us know what you think in the comment section below. We have some fan reactions that I'll put on Instagram and so on. We'll also put them on the other episodes from the last game, and we'll try to get as much as possible. It's a lot for James and I to do, but we're loving it because we love football. very different types of content. And you know, moving along, we always have to mention the kind folks of Biotech. They have a lovely message. So folks, let's hear what the lovely folks of Biotech have to say.
Biotech Plus is internationally certified for all clinical disinfection and sterilisation, all infectious disease control and surgical instruments.
So moving along, you know, before we get into it, you know, there's that trip we always keep mentioning, James. Let's hear about that trip.
Well, one thing we'll say is a lot of these teams are flying home, and they could probably give our friends a call Adventure World Travel, but because of that, we have a trip or flights for two to Tobago with our friends at Adventures World Travel. So come down here, enjoy the show for the remaining games, especially on the final on the 18th, and you'll have a chance to go in a draw to win those two prizes. I mean, it's a wonderful prize, and there'll be other ones too, so continue to support us, check out our friends at Adventure World Travel, and continue to enjoy the football.
Yes, and you know, moving along, you know, we had our first prize winners yesterday. You know, Gregory also got his FIFA 23 as well. We'll put some videos for the prize winners as well. People are getting their stuff, folks, so check it out. And after that lovely prize, folks, we definitely have to talk about this beautiful piece of apparatus here. James will be getting his soon. We're doing a little modeling here. It's from the lovely folks of SJG Watches and Accessories in Gasparillo. They have all the watches from all the countries. Obviously, I'm representing Argentina. James loves Portugal, but you know, you can get the watches you want from them, and we'll give you some information how to get to them. As you can see, the lovely Argentina is on the screen there, folks. Whatever team you like, even the teams that are not at the World Cup, so you could come on down, get them here. We'll probably bring a couple during the match days, and also you'll be getting a discount if you like and subscribe to EXTV.
They look absolutely fantastic, and it'll make sure you get here on time for the final.
Yes. I saw what you did there. So folks, you know, check them out. And like I said, you get 10% off when you like, subscribe, and share and comment. We're paying attention, folks. We're paying attention. So, you know, we're going to move along to the actual football now, James. The football England took on
But you know, in
Senegal.
football, Andre, you need a good pair of shin guards.
Oh.
And we also have our friends at Armourflex, so make sure you follow them, like, subscribe them, and you get a chance if you come down here to Smoking Buddies also to win one of 6 pairs of shin guards. So any footballers out there, male or female, will also be a chance to win those as well.
Yes. So we have lots of giveaways, lots of support, and we'd like to say thank you to all our partners and sponsors for supporting our show. It's heartwarming. We have a lot of people here. You can't see them in the background, that of diverse backgrounds that we didn't expect. People coming off cruise ships. It's lovely. That's what football does. We're having fun. So now, back to the football, James. The 3 Lions took on Senegal. And, you know, the AFCON champions, a lot of people were expecting a lot from them in this game. James and I, we were hoping it was a bit more of a fight. But unfortunately, they fell 3-0 to the 3 Lions. James, from goals from Jordan Henderson, Harry Kane, and a guy, which I'll talk about a little bit more, but obviously Saka, looking brilliant, looking sharp. What do you think about the performance?
Well, it was a Saka punch at the end there.
Yes.
But what a wonderful
James is on a
game.
roll today, folks.
Great performance from England.
Yeah.
I mean, I have to say though, Senegal for the first 30 minutes were fantastic.
Yep.
And they really took the game to England, and it was actually a save from Pickford that was probably the turning point. I think Dia had the save. I thought Sarr was very good early on, but all in all, England then stepped it up. Very good goal from Jordan Henderson. Obviously the Saka goal, which we just said, fantastic too, but it was a very interesting change that Gareth Southgate did. You know, he played his 4-3-3, but he brought in obviously Walker to right back. He brought in Henderson, Rice and Bellingham to play in the centre there. So maybe he thought that the pace that Senegal had would cause him problems, so he brought in Henderson there, and then he went with obviously Foden, Kane and Saka. So Foden came in, was very instrumental in the goals as well, had a very good game, and I think England will be delighted with his performance.
Yes. So, you know, obviously the question a lot of people have been asking, would Mane have made a difference? I mean, there's quality players on this team, you know, Koulibaly, Mendy and so on, many others. It's a strong team. The AFCON Nations tournament is a very strong one. You could just ask Tom, you know, a good friend of ours. We'll have an interview there. It's wonderful. I love to look at it. But do you think, you know, that player power, maybe, you know, the Premiership players are familiar with him, would have maybe caused England to be a bit more cautious and therefore give Senegal a bit more of a chance to break through? What do you think?
Well, when you watch the first half, like I said, if you go back and watch that first 30 minutes, I think if you had the potency of Sané there, that little bit of invention he has, he's able to kind of dart between players, they would have definitely gave them a little bit more problems, but you can't take it away from Dia, from Sarr, for example, Diatta. So they had a very good game. And as I say, it just happened to be that they just switched off in a sense. I mean, literally for a few seconds, and they were punished. And again, that is international World Cup football. You can't do that. But there's no doubt that having somebody of Mane's quality would have been obviously a great addition to the team.
Yes, and obviously we're going to take a quick look at the stats. England dominated possession with 62% possession, 38%. Now the reason why I'm going to harp on this a little bit, in the last two tournaments, England were criticized for having a lot of possession but no final product, especially in the last World Cup. They scored a lot of goals, if not most of them from set pieces. And then in the Euros, it was not much better. People saying they got a favorable draw. That's still debatable as well. But now they're getting the goals. The attacking young players are looking sharp. Do you think now that Southgate is finally getting that balance right between defense and offense?
I think, to me, the way England won this game was in transition today.
Yeah.
For example, from defence to attack, they were able to get forward very quickly. One of the things I noticed in the previous game, they put a stat up on the screen when France played Poland, that France were in transition. It was 11 seconds to get the ball back in attack. I think if you look at England today, we're probably a little quicker because they were able to punish them very quickly. So I think that's one thing Southgate got right. As I say, some people may question Henderson being in there because he's maybe not necessarily, it doesn't have that flair, that they may want. But to me, it worked today. He was able to control it a little bit, and obviously it paid off because he got the goal as well. So I think the calls were right from Southgate. I am not Southgate's biggest fan, to be perfectly honest with you. I think he's a coach that, to me, didn't have enough experience coming into it. He's now made the experience with the team, but he's winning games. So we will see how far they go.
Correct. This is a team that England is always going to be under the microscope. They are a team that, hype themselves up. Let's not kid ourselves. They do that, the Premiership and so on. But they're looking a lot better and maybe more complete.
Is it coming home?
Yeah, is it coming home? James, you read my mind. I was going to say that. Is it coming home this time? You're going to start hearing the songs on the streets. Is it too early to now say? And I don't want to jump ahead yet because we'll talk about that for a few minutes before we sign off. England, did their defense really get a proper test so far in this tournament?
I don't think they have been, no. I mean, I think there was points today that I have to question. For example, that little partnership there between Stones and Maguire. Stones coming off later in the game as well, but I think, to me, Senegal were able to penetrate them a little bit too easily at times in the game. And I think when they come up against, for example, they're going to play Le Bleu in the next game, when they come up against that pace of Mbappe, Dembele, Giroud up front, I mean, I'm not so sure they can stand up to that. But again, it's 11 against 11 on the day, and anything can happen. But there is a question there. But again, there's also a question I have with the French backline too. So it will be a very interesting game, that one.
Yes, and we'll probably have a proper full preview as well. We're trying to get as much videos in as much as possible. We're trying to do some watch-alongs as well, so you can watch the games with us, interact, let us know your comments and suggestions, and you could possibly win prizes.
But what about Saka, Andre? I mean, we say we're going to come back to him, but this boy is fantastic.
He's an amazing player. I think there was no doubts about that even at the Euros. And, I think it's very good that he's performing really well because we know he took a lot of stick unfairly after the last Euros. I thought that was terrible. I thought it was unfair to the boy on the penalty match shootout. Yes, he didn't score, but his talent. And I'm happy that he's playing, he's scoring, he looks really comfortable in the system. Kudos to Gareth Southgate for sticking with his guy.
But also it's a lesson for young footballers. I mean, he obviously came to the Euros, he had the unfortunate incident, that he missed, but he's learned from it. He got his head down, he's worked, he's been absolutely phenomenal for Arsenal. He's coming into the England game, the World Cup now, again, he's been fantastic. So if you work hard, you get your head down, it just shows you how far things can go.
Yes. So, this is going to be a very mouth-watering clash because all the games are now, it's getting serious now. I mean, it was always serious, but now we're seeing, obviously England is going to take on France. Let's talk a little bit about that now. A quick mini preview then. We'll give you guys a bonus. Normally we'll do this separately. James, do you think England have what it takes to get past this French team?
That's a very hard question, Andre. I mean, whereas I think one of the strengths I think England have is they have an absolutely phenomenal squad. And when we speak about the first 11, for example, that played today, but when you can bring on guys like Grealish, Rashford, I mean, Phil Foden obviously played in this game, but they have so much quality on that bench in every position, I think Southgate may tinker again for the next game. But then when you also look to France, it's going to be very hard to stop Mbappe.
Yes. I mean, I'm looking at the squad here. Now, there is an argument. I mean, you raise a valid point when we're looking at the group stage. When they sort of rotated some players that, the bench on this team and also Brazil may not, arguably, of course, may not be as strong as we think. But I mean, based on these performances today, France looked really good.
One of the things I think, and it wouldn't surprise me if Southgate was to change his system.
Yep.
I mean, I know they're very good at the 4-3-3, lots of movement. For example, Foden can switch, whoever's playing in there can switch, somebody else can go forward. But I've got a funny feeling they may switch to a 4-2-3-1. And why I say that is when you've got guys like Phillips on the bench too,
yeah,
a little bit more defensive. They obviously brought Henderson in, so it wouldn't surprise me. And then you've got guys like Mount who could come in and play in that 10. So I think they might change it up and surprise France in that last game. You never know.
Yep.
I mean, that's the beauty of coaching. I mean, it's up to the coach on the day, and I think by doing that, you'll then Didier Deschamps will have to be on his toes.
Correct.
So we will see, but it's a mouth-watering tie.
Yes, and just to end things off, I agree with James. The only thing I probably will say is that I think Gareth Southgate has been accused in the past for the big games. He kind of steps aside. He doesn't take the courageous thing that you need. On one side, in his defense, what he's doing is getting him to finals and so on. Well, one final. But against France, on those quote-unquote big teams, he has a tendency to go for the cautious approach, like against Italy. He scored first, and then he went into that 5 at the back. And a lot of people are saying he did that way too early. They probably could have killed off Italy. Italy were allowed to come back in the game. Do you think that he learned his lesson and maybe this time he'll show a little more courage, or is he going to go back to that, as you said, he's going to change his tactics, maybe be a bit more cautious?
Well, they say a leopard doesn't change its spots, but I mean, I think he does look like he's changed a little bit. I know you're looking at me saying that's another pun you're getting in there, James, but one of the key, I don't want to say secret weapons he has is Harry Kane.
Yep.
I mean, people will look at Kane and say he's not necessarily scoring every game, but he drops into that pocket. And I had a conversation with Kevin before the game, and he was saying, is Harry Kane actually a centre forward, or is he an attacking mid? Because he drops in so deep, and he actually is able to play ball. I mean, he's a very good passer of the ball too.
Correct.
And he's a creator, so he has that hidden ability to be able to do that. And that's something that people will look at Kane and think he's a big, tall striker who can hold up the ball. He is far more than that, and he's a skipper too. So, as I say, he's not necessarily the hidden weapon or the secret weapon, but he's definitely something that gives him something different. Yeah,
that's a very good point, because I remembered when Pochettino was coaching Spurs, he was an all-out number 9. He suppressed, but then when Mourinho came in, Mourinho started to shift him around and he started to play deeper, and people started to look at him a little bit differently. He was probably scoring less goals, but even I was shocked. I was like, okay, he has a bit more range to him than what I thought, as James said, like the traditional number 9. And I think you're right. I think Kane is way more diverse than people think. I think Gareth Southgate knows this, and we'll see how it works. So we'll see the matchup. We'll probably have another discussion heading into those games. We have a little bit of a gap, so James and I could get a breather. We'll probably have some nice content in between. Oof, yeah, I know. We have to, do some muscle regeneration. It's not just the players need it, folks. We need it as well. So we'll probably go to some place and, get some muscular regeneration done.
But as we have a little extra time on the show, because it's 2 days now, I want to throw out some questions there. So, who is your favourite player so far in the tournament? Who's your favourite goalkeeper? If you were to give your best 11, post it in the comments as well. It's good for us to hear from you all, to hear, because we can talk all we want all day, but at the end of the day, the show's for all you all as well. So, let us know these wonderful things and get involved. Come down here and enjoy the games at Smoky Bunties.
Yes, and as you said, get involved. We're going to post some videos of everybody else. There's a lot of them. We have to skim through them, make sure they're safe, because people get excited during these games, folks. We're going to put them up and we'll get some actual fan reactions.
And I have an interesting question, I'm just thinking, something that, people want people to come down to Smoky Bunties. So there's a pair of goalkeeper gloves hanging in Smoky Bunties.
It's in behind.
Who do they goalkeeper gloves belong to?
We'll allow you to guess on the spot. Very good question. Listen, we have lots of reasons for you all to come down. Lots of reasons. So you're not just going to come to a game. You're going to meet people. You're going to have fun. And you're going to get prizes. And they're going away really fast. So once again, folks, we have so much to do. As James always says, don't forget to like, subscribe, share. Check us out on all our social media channels, Smokey and Bunties. Also on EXTVmedia.com and the Facebook page for...
And then there's all our TV stations as well.
Yes.
Make sure you follow our friends, QNN Sports in Suriname. We have M&E TV here in Trinidad and Tobago, and you can catch us every day on M&E TV around 10 o'clock and 2 o'clock. I mean, what a wonderful thing. And then, Andre, we have those games tomorrow again.
Yes.
2 more beautiful, mouth-watering games. We have Japan against Croatia.
Correct.
I mean, what a big game. And then we have Brazil against South Korea.
Yes, yes.
Will it end up being an all-Asian quarterfinals?
That would be nice.
Or will Brazil and Croatia have something to say?
Yes, yes, that is exciting. And folks, nothing is certain in this tournament. Everything is going all over the place, and I love that. I love that. It's absolutely scary. Unless you're supporting a team, then you're scary. But
It's going all over the place like my hair today.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, look at my clothes all the way. It's all, listen, we're having fun. We're looking like two guys who had a lot of fun because we are having fun. This is exhausting, but we love it. We wait 4 years for this. If you're a real football fan, this is probably the most exciting time to be a football fan during the World Cup. So, folks, once again, we're going to end the show like we always do. James, take it away.
After a fantastic day of football, make sure you all enjoy the greatest show on earth.
Yeah, yeah.